Hey guys, today's last sector is Exodus Garden 2A in the Cosmodrome. There's going to be 2 barriers and 2 overloads. We're going to be using Crown of Tempest today on Arc Warlock. Getting into the build guide, we're going to be using Healing Rift with Ball Lightning and Storm Grenades. You could also use Chain Lightning to help stun overloads. For the first aspect, we're going to be using Electrostatic Mind. Defeating targets with Arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an Ionic Trace and Arc Soul. After we cast a Rift, it'll give us an Arc Soul, which will give us a little bit of extra damage. For our fragments, we're going to be using Spark of Beacons. While you're amplified, your Arc Special Weapon Final Blows create a blinding explosion. Spark of Shock, your Arc Grenades jolt targets. And Spark of Discharge, Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace. And lastly, Spark of Feedback, after taking melee damage, we will have a greater outgoing melee damage. Moving on to the weapons, we're going to be using an auto rifle for the barriers. Salvager Salvo, since it's great at ad clearing, and it also has Demolitionist on it to help us get our grenades back faster. And the Leviathan's Breath for overloads and barrier damage. On the artifact, we're going to want Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle and Elemental Orbs Arc if you're using Salvager Salvo, so we can get the Elemental Orbs. If you have Elemental Orbs on and an Arc weapon, you should put on Refreshing Pickups, so that every time we pick up an Arc Orb, it will reduce our lowest ability cooldown, as well as Elemental Fury, so that our abilities will do more damage to the stunned champions. For the mods, we're going to want an Ashes to Assets on the helmet, so when we get grenade kills, it will give us increased super energy, as well as 2 harmonic siphons, so that our Salvager Salvo will create better orbs. On the gloves, we're going to have impact induction, so when we cause damage with our melee, we'll reduce our grenade cooldown, as well as a firepower, so that our grenades can generate orbs of power. On the chest plate, we're going to have 2 arc resistances and a void resistance. On the boots, we're going to have recuperation, so it gives us 70 HP when we pick up an orb, and an invigoration and an innervation, so that we get melee and grenade cooldown when we pick up an orb. On the boots, we're going to have powerful attraction, so when we pop a rift, it will pick up all the orbs in the area. Alright, taking a look at the Lost Sector run. In order to get that first wall to go down, we'll have to kill the Servitor and the Shank. Once the wall goes down, there will be a barrier in here, but we will need to take out most of the dregs in order for it to spawn. Once we see the barrier spawn, we're going to go take it out using our Rift as well as our grenade and a few Leviathan Breath shots if needed. There will be an overload right here. We're going to stun it with our Spark of Shock grenade and then take it out with a Leviathan's Breath. You may see we do have our super already. We're going to use this on the next overload to make it easier to take out and a quicker stun. He's going to spawn right behind this building. We should get our super back again before the end of the Lost Sector, and then we're going to use that on the boss. For this part of the Lost Sector, I like to stand up here on the house. If you pop your Rift and take out the sniper behind you, there's really no kill threat up here. You're just going to use the Leviathan's Breath to take out this Servitor. You shouldn't need any more than 1 or 2 shots for the final boss. As long as you're making sure you're getting an adequate amount of grenade kills, you should not have any problem getting your super back a second time. It is going to be a bit close on the super cooldown, but that'll be alright. If you don't have your super back, I do have some runs where I don't get my super back a second time, and I will explain how to do that when we get to the boss room. Now that the Servitor's dead, the boss room is open. If you don't have your super, you're going to just shoot 1 or 2 shots of Leviathan's Breath and then run forwards. There will be a whole bunch of dregs that'll run towards the doorway, and you'll kill all of them with your melee or grenade and get your super. Once you killed the boss, you can loot the chest. Happy farming.